Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to break down an ancient Taoist approach to conquering that overwhelming disorder and avoidance we all face in our modern lives. Seriously, if you've ever felt just totally paralyzed by a massive to-do list or completely weighed down by everyday clutter, well, this philosophy offers a surprisingly quiet and incredibly simple way out. So, let's dive right into a highly relatable problem. Why is it that we know exactly what we need to do, yet we just completely refuse to do it? I mean, we know the dishes need washing, we know that one text needs answering, and we know for a fact it would only take 2 minutes. And yet, day after day, we just leave these simple things undone, right up until our whole life feels utterly chaotic. The ancient Taoists actually understood this pattern perfectly. We really have to recognize that a life isn't put in order by grand, dramatic acts, but by mastering the unglamorous basics before they literally snowball out of control. Notice how trouble almost always starts small. A problem we could have solved in 1 minute is ignored, and it just grows roots. That single plate becomes a massive, intimidating pile in the sink by the end of the week. That short message we put off becomes this awkward silence, and eventually, all these small ignored tasks morph into that sleepless anxiety that completely takes over late at night.
Which brings us to Section 1, Catch It Small, Dealing with Problems Before They Grow Roots. The philosopher Lao Tzu wrote, "The hardest tasks in the world all begin while they are still easy, and the greatest things in the world all begin while they are still small." There's a really profound insight hidden inside those words about why we procrastinate. You see, because a small avoided task gives us no immediate sense of achievement, we falsely save up all our energy for some big day to fix our entire lives, a big day that, let's be honest, never actually comes. So the absolute crucial point here is that an ordered life is actually made up of these completely unglamorous acts done the exact moment they appear. If you want to keep your life in order, you have to meet the small thing while it's still small. Answer the message right now. Wash the bowl right now. Say the difficult sentence while it is still only a sentence and hasn't yet mutated into an insurmountable wall standing between two people.
Moving right along to Section 2, Begin Small. This is the antidote to the freeze response. When our lives feel deeply out of order, the sheer magnitude of the mess can just completely paralyze us, right? We basically freeze. But Lao Tzu offers this incredibly gentle answer. A tree so wide you cannot wrap your arms around it grows from a single tiny seed. A tower 9 floors high begins with 1 basket of earth. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Every large and finished thing in the world was once small and unfinished. There is literally no other way that big things come to be. And what that means is the path back to order doesn't ask you to fix your whole life today. You don't need to magically become a completely new person by Monday morning or deep clean your entire house. Taking 1,000 small steps just one at a time is going to carry you so much further than waiting for a giant leap that just keeps you standing exactly where you are, frozen in place. Honestly, you only need to clear 1 corner of 1 table. Let's look at Section 3, Simplify and Remove Clutter. The quiet power of taking things away. Think about it. When people try to get their lives together, what do? They almost always reach for more. More plans, more rules, more apps to track every single hour of the day. We kind of fall into this trap of believing a clever new system, just layered on top of our mess, is going to fix everything. But the Taoist cure teaches us that disorder is actually caused by having too many things, and way too many open plans just draining our attention. True order is found by taking things away and quietly letting go. This introduces the really beautiful Taoist concept of the uncarved block. Basically, it represents the natural, plain, and simple state of a thing before we start cutting it, shaping it, and just unnecessarily complicating it. There is this amazing, quiet freedom found in that plainness and in stripping away all the excess. Lao Tzu put it perfectly when he said, "When we chase after knowledge, we gather a little more each day. But when we follow the way, we let go of little more each day." And look, a simple life isn't an empty life. By quietly putting down something you've just been carrying around for no good reason, you clear out the clutter. And what remains? It becomes incredibly clear, focused, and so much easier to care for properly. Which brings us to Section 4, Persist through the dullness. The quiet power of doing the basics. Now this persistence is the glue that holds all these other concepts together. Doing the basics once? That changes nothing. It's doing them again and again, especially on those totally ordinary days when absolutely no one is watching you. Lao Tzu warned us, be as careful at the end as you were at the beginning, and then nothing we have built will fall apart. People so often fail right at the exact moment they're closest to succeeding, simply because they get tired of the dull repetition. We really have to maintain that initial care all the way through the process. To really ground this idea, let me share this incredible, quiet story of a man known as Grandfather Dyke in Nagoya. Every single morning, before doing absolutely anything else, he would stubbornly and meticulously sweep the short stone path leading to his front door, and he'd do it regardless of whether it was covered in fallen leaves or just had a tiny speck of dust.
One day, a neighbor asked him why he was bothering to sweep a perfectly clean path, and he replied, "I am not really sweeping the path. I am setting the day in order, and the path is only where I choose to begin." His home was never grand, but it was incredibly calm, because that calm was built faithfully, just one quiet morning at a time. The Taoists absolutely loved using the example of water to illustrate this exact kind of persistence. I mean, a single gentle drop of water seems way too weak to matter, right? But much like water that never forces anything, if it just keeps falling on that exact same spot, it will faithfully wear a hole straight through solid rock. Repeated small acts hold a quiet, compounding power that literally nothing dramatic or rushed can ever match.
And finally, Section 5, your very next action. Let's ground this philosophy in reality. As we wrap up this explainer, we really need to bring this down to earth. The way out of your overwhelming mess is not some dramatic rescue arriving from the future. The simple path is actually open to you right now, literally in the things right in front of you today. It's the dishes you could wash tonight, it's that one message you could finally answer, it's the single corner you could set right. None of this is going to look impressive, and nobody is going to applaud you for it, but that is exactly why the simple path works so beautifully. So as you step back out into your day, I want to leave you with this final thought. You don't need a massive overhaul. You really just need to take one quiet step. So ask yourself, what is the single corner you can set right before you sleep tonight? Decide what that is for you and just begin. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.